Good morning, this is Kelland on the go with all you need to know in news and weather as you start your day.
We have an update to a story we first brought you over the weekend. The Sioux Falls SWAT team surrounded an empty apartment to search for weapons used in a previous crime.
Sioux Falls police say this all started February 17th when the suspect was attempting to force his way into a home and threatened somebody with a gun. There were reports of gunshots that police believed to be the suspect.
It took a little bit. The detectives were able to determine who that suspect was, identify him. A warrant was issued on February 23rd. That warrant was for aggravated assault and burglary.
Police arrested 28-year-old Tyrone Appleton Saturday night. Later that evening, SWAT was sent to an apartment on 14th Street and Spring Avenue to find the weapons Appleton allegedly used. Police say they have recovered the weapon.
This isn't the first time this month we've reported on Appleton. February 5th, Sioux Falls police arrested the 28-year-old for aggravated assault and reckless discharge of a firearm.
He allegedly fired multiple shots outside a laundromat on 14th in Minnesota. There were no injuries or reports of damage. Meanwhile, one man was taken to the hospital following a crash in central Sioux Falls. Police say it happened around 7:45 last night in the area of East 9th Street and North Cliff Avenue.
Our KELOLAND News crew was able to capture video of the scene. During the investigation, authorities learned that a man was hit by a southbound car. Officials say he was listed with critical injuries at a local hospital. A Worthington, Minnesota man was arrested following gunshots in Aberdeen over the weekend. Police say officers were called to an area of 6th Avenue and South Main Street just before midnight on Saturday. Investigators say two groups got into a fight inside a local bar.
As one group was leaving in a vehicle, police say a passenger fired a handgun. So far, no injuries have been reported. 20-year-old Nikhil Shenoy is facing a list of charges, including possession of a firearm while intoxicated and underage drinking. The Meade County Sheriff's Office says several animals have been seized in connection with a neglect case. Horse and donkeys were taken from a home along Eagle Ranch Road in Box Elder. Authorities say the owner, Tamara Lyle, was previously cited earlier this month for allowing an animal to suffer.
A plan was developed to make sure the animals were taken care of. However, investigators say a follow-up revealed the animals were still not being taken care of, even though resources were available. Charges are pending.
Now let's get a check of our weather with meteorologist Scott Monk. Good morning, Scott.
All right. Good morning, Dan. Good morning, everybody. We are looking at temperatures today. We'll probably hit in the 30s and 40s. I like to say periods of sunshine, central, western, maybe south central South Dakota. I would not be surprised if we do have an hour or two of sunshine in southeastern KELOLAND, to include Sioux Falls. Temperatures today in the 30s and 40s. We're also following snow. We've had a couple of snow showers this morning, moved through north central South Dakota, Mobridge being one of those areas. And it looks like a better chance for snow, I would say, late this evening going into tonight and early tomorrow morning in north central and northeastern South Dakota. Enough to give us 3 to 6 inches of snowfall in Aberdeen and Siston, maybe 2 to 5 in Watertown. More details on your forecast with Brian coming up.
Thank you, Scott. Bulldozers were scheduled to begin demolition on a 10,000 square foot mansion in Sioux Falls yesterday. But last week, the city agreed to give a federal judge 28 days to rule on a possible delay sought by the homeowners.
The city has permission from the South Dakota Supreme Court to tear down the home, but the owner sued in federal court hoping to stop the demolition. The lawyer for the family says if the home, valued at $2.75 million, is torn down, they will seek damages.
In the event the city does move forward and bulldoze the home, we would have irreparable harm and considerable damages.
The judge overseeing the case is urging both sides to consider a mediator. Orthopedic Institute, located on the Avera McKenna main campus, has been in its current Sioux Falls facility for nearly 25 years, and they have announced plans for a brand new facility.
The new 70,000 square foot clinic and administrative office will be located near 85th Street and Interstate 29 in T. Patients won't notice much of a change in care, but they are adding the ability to do more procedures, something they don't do in their current facility.
It's really giving people the best tools they need to provide the best care. We just recently opened a facility in Mitchell as well, and seeing the excitement for the staff and the community there has really energized us for this project as well.
The new T location will replace the current office on the Avera McKenna campus. They project to break ground later this year with a grand opening in 2025. The city of Sioux Falls is hosting 4 major basketball tournaments over the course of 3 weeks.
The list includes the NSIC tournaments, which wrap up tonight, Sanford Pentagon, and the Summit League Championships, which tip off Friday at the Premier Center. The CEO of Experience Sioux Falls says the tournaments will have at least $5 million in average economic impact.
It's a hot time in Sioux Falls. They're going to sell more, whether it's food or a car. And so it's very economically positive for our community.
You can hear from a downtown business about the importance of the tournaments with this story on KELOLAND.com. That is a look at some of our top stories.
Now let's get one last look at your weather with meteorologist Brian Karstens. Brian?
All right, watching some of that initial snow popping up. Mobridge, one of those communities that has already picked up some of that, and then they'll be developing patches of snow on radar throughout the course of the day and then organizing more tonight. So this advisory goes into effect from Buffalo all the way to Aberdeen and Millbank. So continue to watch for road updates and things as we watch the timeline later today and especially during the overnight hours. The starting points today, some of these first initial batches of snow are lifting north. Temperatures are in just a marginal range to support snow. There could be a few spots easily blending with a little rain. It's not much in the south. I would caution you that a lot of the numbers are in the nuisance variety. And I would also argue with temperatures being the way they are forecast, sometimes it's a little harder for that snow to stick around much. It will be probably pretty sloppy and wet and heavy if it does fall in your neck of the woods. I would say Aberdeen, watching 5 o'clock, there seems to be more kind of coalescing around that idea of snow increasing, and you've got an southeast wind to start the evening, bending around to the northeast as that low kind of zips across. I would say probably parallel to Highway 14. The actual low track might be about in here, maybe just a row of counties north of that. And then on the north side of it is where you'll have the most impact on that storm track. Sioux Falls will be well to the south, and it'll actually be a channel of west winds. Could pick up quite a bit. We could have a couple hours tomorrow morning where the winds are close to 40. Then they'll kind of subside, and then eventually everybody picks up that northwest wind. And as a result, temperatures will slide. Not frigid, but it will be colder. There could be some single digits in the far northeast with that fresh snow cover as we head toward Thursday morning. And Thursday during the day, not all that warm. There's a look at the snow forecast. Think the northeast, the north central. That's probably where your biggest snow impacts will be. And 3 to 6 is our current forecast for Aberdeen, as well as Sisseton. Numbers today, 37 degrees in Yankton, 38 in Winter, 46 in Rapid City with a south wind there, 15 to 25, and pockets of either light rain or light snow. Tonight we're down to 15 Mobridge, 19 degrees in Aberdeen. And tomorrow with that colder, blustery wind out of the north in Aberdeen, I think you'll feel the effects of this storm there. Sioux Falls even 32, but winds out of the northwest will make it feel colder. And then after a brief cool down Thursday, we kind of get back on track. Low 30s toward the start of the weekend. I think we'll have a good recipe for some melting during the day and some refreezing at night, which is probably about the best case scenario when you've got deep, heavy snow cover and it's the month of March. You know, any day with sun, it starts melting pretty good. In Aberdeen, you'll melt this new snow too, I think, by the weekend. You'll go in the 30s for highs. Here, likely at least mid-30s, possibly near 40 by Sunday. And Rapid City, probably some opportunities to jump a little higher, especially by the weekend. 46 the high on Sunday. Check out more details with our weather forecast online at KELOLAND.com.